M1
much.
Garand,
the stupidest thing
ask
ever.
everyone to rate their own looks on a scale of 1 to 10. You can't pick 7. Why don't we start with you? Go ahead.
You said rate myself 10, and I think every other woman, man should rate themselves a 10.
So
Sorry.
10 for you,
And everyone's a 10 in my eyes.
Chloe.
A 6.
Girl.
Into the mic.
5.
5.
I'd probably say 6 too.
7.
You can't pick
I
7.
would say between 6 and 8, depending like on a day, like makeup, no makeup, how my skin looks.
What about right now?
Maybe can 7, maybe like 7.5.
See, this
What?
is like crazy. This
6
is
or
like,
8.
Girl,
You got to
should
pick 6 or 8.
have to do that by yourself.
6 or 8.
Right?
I hate this question.
Can I do 6.9?
Nope.
So stupid. Such a stupid question.
I guess.
Full numbers. No
All
more.
right. Okay.
Yeah,
8. Let's do 8.
8. Okay.
6.
Okay.
5.
Patrick, what do you rate
That
yourself?
hurts me.
Since we can't choose 7, I'll boost my ego and I'll say I'm an 8.
Okay, I give myself a 5.
Sticking with that one?
Give myself a 5. So we have a 10. We got the.
Oh my God, it's not about that. If we're talking about okay, please let me talk about this topic. So if we're talking about realistic, because I'm a very realistic person, I know that when I go outside, not everyone's gonna think I'm attractive, and that's okay. I'm realistic. But when you're talking about rating yourself, I feel like every individual should feel that they're a 10. They should feel that about themselves. That's the best way to live. If like I had to come to realistics, right? And you're like, do you think you could be on the cover of Vogue? I know that I can't, right? That's okay. But, and also if I'm having to rate myself, if someone's like has a gun to my head and they're like, rate yourself, give me a number. I could give myself a number. But as myself, I rate myself a 10 because I know who I am and I know what I'm about, and that's what I give myself. But I'm also realistic. So.
What do you rate me?
Love this question. I think with the beard, you're like a 7, 8. Without the beard, I think like a 6. I just rate yourself because you rate everyone else. I'm giving you a rating.
Well, I think beard.
I think you're a 10 though in my eyes. You know what I mean?
No, but you just said I was a 6.
No, because you are very like you will tell girls that they're. You know what I mean? So I'm giving you the same energy back. But in my eyes, you're a 10.
I feel like Brian probably wears the beard because, like, my ex-husband, if he shaved his beard, he just had the baby face.
That's what I'm saying. That's why the beard. I feel like when I see girls taking their makeup off, I've seen more dramatic beard shavings than makeup taking off of things. Like if you
Even
shave,
just a haircut.
No,
like,
literally, a man taking off his beard is like game change. That's what I'm saying. When do you think you should tell a girl that you can like a picture of you before the beard?
I have like most of my Instagram is me without
Well, not
a
you.
beard.
I'm saying in general. Like, well, I guess you and in general. Like, do you think a man should have to, if they have a beard, they should do the same thing? I feel.
I don't think beard is a fair comparison to makeup
Why
or
is it
plastic
with
surgery.
the
I think
man
it
thing
is,
though? Like,
yeah.
why is it like when it is a very big difference when you have no beard on and when you have a beard on, you look very different, and that's okay.
I think
so
you
why
look
is it
better
different?
without the beard.
Better.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Chloe. I appreciate that. Thank you.
I like the beard.
beards are
Yeah,
cool
it's
and all,
not
but
it's
like,
not a
you don't
one
like beards?
to it's not a similar comparison.
Why?
well, but it's a part of his
Well,
body.
the beard
Well, one, it's
hides half
natural.
your face.
Beard-
I understand it's natural, but the way it changes we're talking about changing appearances, right?
Maybe a fourth of the face, but the beard one, it's natural, so it's not something that's artificial, right? So that's one of the big differences that I would say.
Why do you want women to rate themselves 1 through 10? What does it give you? What do you think it does for people? Why
that's
do
a
you
good
think
question.
we need a rating? Like, what is this segment even about? You know what I mean? Because they go around the circle and this woman calls herself a 5, and that makes me want to cry. Because you're not a 5. You're hot as shit. And you guys are all hot as shit. And then a woman thinking themselves as a 5 is so sad to me. Because I think you only get one life, and you should yourself feel like you're the hottest girl in the world. Now, you don't think you're better than anyone, right? You can think you're hotter than everyone, but also not think you're better. Do you know what I'm saying?
But
Like, you can live on the same plane. You can still think like you're pretty and not be condescending and not be realistic. Like, this show's always about realistic. It's like, who cares? I don't care.
But I also think like I can be realistic and not care what others think about my appearance.
Absolutely.
Like
Yeah.
I don't need to feel pretty to
Okay.
be worthy.
And
or
in the way you feel
enjoy
about
life.
yourself and
So.
the potential of who you can be, it can be separate from how you compare to the general population. And I think
Yeah.
the point of the segment, the reason why people like it, is because it gets back to the attention economy and how social media has altered the way in which women perceive themselves based on the amount of attention they can get. And so
Yeah.
men, we just don't live in that world. I can't post selfies of myself and garner an audience. That's just not how it works. Maybe for a few people.
We're on Brian's
Okay, but still,
podcast right now.
but even bodybuilders, it's like men. Anybody who works out, know it's men that congratulate you or appreciate your fitness more than women do. So it's like the whole idea you get fit for women. Rarely ever does a woman come up and say, "Wow, you have great shoulders," or whatever it may be.
But we also have gay for pay, so there's
Well, that's a
guys
wholly
who
different
are,
dynamic.
you know,
You're talking about homosexuals.
Oh.
Then that's a totally
they're
different.
not homosexual.
Gay for pay.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty gay and homosexual to me.
Just because the act is doesn't mean they are.
I think
it's
behavior.
for pay,
no.
like you're straight and then
Yeah,
you-
behavior dominate. Again, I'm not going to go based on what somebody labels themselves as. I'm going to go based on what their behaviors are.
Right.
So
but
if
it's still winning over favor of men.
sure, and I'm sure there's lesbian for pay. I don't know. I'm not in that world. But anyways, my point in regards to the segment.
Oh, yeah, there is lesbian for pay.
Is because.
In our industry, yeah.
Is because women typically, historically, like let's say the average 5 male and the average 5 female, they would get together and have a family. But because of the way social media has altered the perception, the self-perception of women, is the average 5 is like really waiting for the 7, the 8, the 9. And this is why then it's interesting for people to watch the show and see how women rate themselves to see like how realistic are they in regards to like the actual full spectrum dating market.
I understand. So you think when you say a 5 and it's like you don't think that a hot person and a 5 like can coincide or like
They could, absolutely. My point is, though, that's why the average man is having such a difficult time of finding a woman to actually build a family with.
Oh, okay.
Because the average woman probably has had one-night stands, promiscuous encounters with men that are more attractive than the man that she could actually form a long-term relationship with.
See, that's what I'm saying. When you say actually form, actually, like, you mean like, why can't they form with someone that's like a lot of people that talk to me are like people who are into big women. They're the 10s of the 10s. They're the hottest people. Like, I've seen a lot of people who are plus size that come on this podcast, and people think that that's not the truth. It is. Like, people that look like you're a very attractive man, hit on me all the time, and that's just the reality of it. And does that mean I'm taking away from the average man of like, because I'm fat I have to be with someone who's average? Like, do you
You
know what
don't
I'm saying?
have to, no. And maybe again the category where these men find you as a fat queen, maybe that well that's kind of the way you phrased it earlier.
Yeah.
So
A
I'm
goddess.
just a goddess.
A goddess.
Okay. Well, however you want to phrase it. Okay, so that's kind of the exception to the rule. But generally speaking, this is why it's so difficult in the dating market for average people to find average people. And women because you guys have access to sex and you have that leverage, and then men are so lustful and simpy and can't control themselves. I mean, you guys are able to have experiences with people that the average man is not having. He's not having one night stands with the female 8 and thinking, you know what, maybe I'm a 5, but one day I could actually, settle down with an 8. We're just more realistic. Men are forced to deal with reality, and women are able to live in the world that men construct and kind of be shielded from it.
See, even thinking that manner of like I'm gonna end up with an 8, like I don't even think like that. Like I don't think like this is who, you know what I mean? Like I just date who I date, and like if they're a 4
Sure.
or whatever. Like even like the fact that we're talking about a number scale on someone's looks, I just hate that in general. Like that someone is a number. Like why does it
Sure.
matter?